We hear you're having trouble with your RC3 best. Get your jotters out and let us do the rest. You weld yourself in and let's get your fix in with Monday Night Predictions. Monday Night Predictions.
Hello and welcome in to Monday Night Predictions. I'm Matty Cool and today is the 12th of December 2019. As always, I'm joined by Chris Kamara and looking forward to this week. Chris, are you?
Yeah, really looking forward to getting back to our radio show, which we missed one last week, folks. That was not our fault. The pandemic had run riot through our offices, and we just thought we'd better stay at home. And Matt, you and I, we don't have the technology these days at home, do we? We don't know what we're doing.
No, we can't work from home. We rely on the studio, going into the studio to record this. And
I can't work from home. I don't know about you, but I can't.
No, I need to be in the office with the boys, with the bevies, and we'll just record some podcasts.
And the beers, and the burgers, and a burger. I need a burger. Right! So, we have got the DHL second round coming up.
Good, exciting stuff.
Kicking us off is Xingye Islanders versus Hands in the Ruck. The Mandarin Speaker's Shield being contested here. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, and a lot. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to these two teams renewing their rivalry.
Yes. How do you think it's going to go, Matt?
I always suspect that Hands in the Ruck always nick this derby. But when they play at Xingye, Hands in the Ruck tend to nick it. Based off the Charles Perkins Championship last year, in my head that's what happened, but might be completely off of that one. Xingye 6, Hands in the Ruck 7. How about you?
Yes, no, I think that Hands in the Ruck are good. They've actually beaten Xingye the only time that they've contested this in the Manawatu.
Okay.
So, yes, I think it was a 7-0 win for Hands in the Ruck. So I think they got the edge on the away fixture. I think they've just edged it, actually, just in general. I think Xingye have only beaten them once. But I'm going to go for a 14-10 Hands in the Ruck win.
Okay, and the next game, Land of the Rocking Sun versus Moldor. A foregone conclusion, I'd say, Chris. I've gone for 35-3 on this one.
Yeah, I've gone for 21-0. Right. Jackal Mall versus Jurassic Punt. We got a big game here. What do you think it's going to be, Matt? Yeah,
a lot of dinosaurs in this one, in both teams. Blue Eyes White Dragon, Ultimate Honkosaurus. So it'll be interesting. Similar styles, I'd argue. But I think Jackal Mall will edge it. The more experienced team. Probably the only team really going to push Landmark Sun to the max this year. Jackal Mall 14, yeah. Jurassic Punt 7. How about you, Chris?
Yeah, well put, Matt. I think, Jackal Mall have got the quality. Jurassic Punt look very shaky. Apart from their little bright spark in Pierre Platiosaur, who had a good little run in the autumn for France, he was very impressive. But I think it'll be a 28-7 bonus point win for Jackal Mall, which will be crucial in their campaign to take down Land of the Rocking Sun.
Okay, and the last fixture of DHL2 are Emu Plains Penitentiary, who didn't have the best start last week, versus Council of St. Bernardel. Who have you gone for, Chris? E?
Yeah, I know they struggled last week, but I was quite impressed by Emu Plains on their debut. I thought you can see the basics are in there. They like to rock, they like to get physical, and they only lost 6-0 to a very experienced Xingye side. So I think against the less formidable Council of St. Bernardel, I think they'll take it. 7-3 though, it'll be close.
I've gone for the reverse. I think Council will see us one through. Emu Plains 0, Council of St. Bernardel 14.
Okay, and with that concludes the DHL. We will play you into the next section with a song to rally behind the Hands in the Ruck captain, Cao Cao. See you in a minute.
东有一是新兵讨群雄。夫妻会梦境。可理不起，透出而引
Screwfix Premiership Simplies.
Right, welcome back to your Monday Night predictions. We're moving on now to Screwfix 11. I mean, they're on the home straight now, Chris, until the finishing line, actually, the English League. They're really whizzing through their domestic campaign.
Yeah, they are. And speaking of whizzing, we've got Activate taking on RFC Nautical. We're in our big game, Chrissy Kamara's Lock of the Week. It is going to be a huge game. I think before the season we probably picked these two to take the title. Now it's looking more like a GWR locals race. But Nautical and Activate will be competing for those Heine spots as well.
Yeah, and also interesting to note, this is GWRFC's rest week, so it's a good chance for Nautical and Activate to put some pressure on them whilst they're not playing, and obviously they can't accumulate the points whilst they're not here. So who have you gone for, Chris?
I've gone for Nautical to take it. I think Activate have been looking a bit quite poor, actually. I think it's going to be 14-7. It's still a good side, but I just don't think they've found their feet properly. There's been a lot of slipped games. Their defence seems a bit leaky, and Nautical are a bit more clinical aside.
Yeah, and I believe Nautical's season is slowly. Some of their injured players coming back into the side. They're picking up some wins, some ugly wins with some of their rotation players. I went for Nautical 9-0, 3 penalties to Nautical.
And the Simplies of the week, BBC versus Kevik. We'll whiz on through this one. I've gone for 21-0 to Kevik.
And I've gone 3-21 to Kevik.
So the locals versus Dartmoor Derelicts. This is more of a match. I think the locals are looking good, but Derelicts, they're the ultimate banana skin team, aren't they?
Yeah, it's where title challenges come to an end. Against Dartmoor Derelicts. We know that from Checker Trade last year in the Armitage 8. But you know what? I still fancy the locals. They're in good form. Their backs are actually elite for some reason. Whitlock, Perry Portside, And even Tiger was getting in there. Niles Virgin, Tim Sales, who actually deservedly got his England call up after so many years.
Didn't have a good game though, really.
No, they lost to Australia, but anyway, it's not Australia. The rest in Dartmoor, which was
He was up
an
against
easier.
Varadkar, wasn't he? That's a difficult
yeah.
matchup.
So he played against Bogan Varadkar, and now he's playing against Radley Ringhozel. So it's a bit of a contrast there. So 7-3 to locals for me. Chris, how about you?
Yeah. Interestingly, Derelicts are second bottom right now, and they're 4 wins out of 9. 4 wins, 5 losses, mate, and that's second bottom. This is a very competitive league. They've only won one less game than the locals, technically, who are on 5 wins. The points that separate them, though, are from bonus points and a draw from the locals. So these sides, on paper, are quite close. But yes, my feeling is that the locals will take it 14-10.
And the last game of Screwfix 11, a few years ago, this would have been a big game under the floodlights. It was, a gritty affair usually, but not these days, Chris. W7 Universe versus Checkatrade. Both under new management. It's no longer the classic Bernard Lee versus Phil Brown or Bernard Lee versus Warnock. It's now Dame Judi Dent versus Steve Bruce. Who have you gone for, Chris?
Yeah, it's going to be. It's a tricky one to call. Both teams are in form, technically. Checkatrade have won the last 3. W7 Universe have won the last 2.
Have they?
Deservedly, yes, they have. Deservedly, I'm not sure, but I do think that Checkatrade are playing better at the moment. I think they are the better side under their new coach. 007 defence is pretty leaky, and Samley just had a shocker for New Zealand, so I'm going to go for 21-7 to Checkatrade.
Okay, and this will be my obligatory draw of the week.
Draw of the week.
I've gone for 14-14 in paying homage to their classic 10-10 a few years ago, which is etched in my memory of this fixture.
Great, and we'll play you into the final section with a song, The Rescue Bots, and Robert Muhlbach has put his little spin on it. See you in a minute.
Yeah, see you in a few minutes, guys.
Welcome back, guys. Tadcaster 6. Here we go. We got Baker's Dozen +2, hosting Gallifrey. What do you think, Matt?
Both teams. I think Gallifrey had a good start to the season, but like the steam is running out of them. Baker's Dozen struggling in this division actually, but I think with the home advantage, I think Lineker will kick them a clean 3-0 win. How about you, Chris?
Yeah, if they are to do it, it will be without scoring very points. They've only scored 13 points in 5 matches so far. The Bakers have had an absolute nightmare to their season, start to their season. And you don't have much time to rectify it in this Tadcaster League, do you? They're halfway through.
Yeah.
Almost. I think that Gallifrey are the better side, but it's not by much. I think 17-10 to Gallifrey. I do think that some Bakers players had a good autumn, so maybe they'll bring that international form back to their club.
Yeah, and it was that good autumn that leads me to believe that Baker's winning. That is my hunch for this week.
It's Matty's hunch!
So please, when you do your accumulator, I strongly suggest you pop Baker's down in your Aki.
That's your hunch, is it? Well, the hunch...
Yeah,
folks, is 100% correct so far. So, I don't know what set you off, Matt. What made you little tingle? How does it appear?
It's I imagine it's like I don't know. I'm trying to think of an analogy to describe it.
How does it manifest, mate?
It's just you just those who have the hunch know when you get the hunch. It's just Matty's hunch. I can't force it. I just had a little back of my mind. I thought Bakers, they might nick it. Also, moving on to Scrum Wars versus High Tatlanders. Yeah, decent game, Chris.
Yes, triggeringly so. High Tatlanders are actually sat second in the league right now, which I didn't realise before I made my prediction. But they've had a great start to their season. But Scrum Wars are on the up, I think, after their Heineken win. They're in now. I think they're going to start getting things clicking. I've gone for a 28-14 Scrum Wars win. It's going to be chaotic, folks.
Yeah, I've gone for Scrum Wars beating High Tatlanders 21-14. I just think their players are hitting form. Like I said, the Heineken Cup, they're riding high on. Qui-Gon Jinn had a great games for Ireland doing the internationals. Jonathan Jower is ascended, so he's obviously going to be a big offer. Jonathan Jower versus is it Highland Midge? I think who plays left wing for High Tatlanders. I think that's a good.
Lacarber Axman.
Yeah, so I think Jonathan Jower will get a few tries. 21-14 Scrum Wars.
You say that, mate, but a lot of those High Tatlanders boys have had a great little campaign for Scotland. They'll be buzzing.
Yeah.
Back in the Six Nations, boys. Back in the Six Nations. Come on.
Then next we have Ancient Mega Powers versus the Ne'er Do Wells. Big game this one, Chris.
Yes, a huge game. This is a game as old as time itself, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, it's probably the most played fixture in RC3. I've gone for a narrow Mega Powers win, because that's the thing about Mega Powers now. They do win ugly. They do win the tight game, which is actually the sign of a great champion. So 7-0 in Mega Powers.
They're an experienced side, but they have struggled to pick up points in the last couple of weeks. A couple of draws to High Tatlanders and Scrum Wars, but those are respectable teams this season, and they do get the job done against lesser sides. I do think that Ancient Mega Powers are just too good right now. 17-13 to the Mega Powers for me.
Okay, and the final game, Pets Gone Wild versus Hellenic Winds. Both teams are trash this year, so 7-14 for me. Chris to Hellenic Winds.
7-10 to Hellenic Winds. Yep, agreed.
Right, thank you for listening to this sort of quite a big episode of Running Down Predictions. We have 12 matches to go through. Hope you enjoy the rest of the week. We'll be here live next Monday, as always. Not as always, but
yes.
As always as can be.
Rarely.
Yeah. We'll sign you out with Dropkick Murphys' new single, The Prisoner Song. We'll see you next week.
It's a pleasure, folks. See you guys.
Chance we were pawns in a game that we could not win. Now we're alone, just a picking stone. We're dreaming of a future when our ship comes in.